seeing Law and Corazone's relationship just develop throughout this chapter was just really emotional, really sad to see. And I reread the chapter again, and it really makes you feel for Corazone's character. And with this, I become attached to the character, because Corazone's a really cool character, and it sucks because at least in 1 or 2 chapters, he's most likely going to, well, no, he's going to get killed by Doflamingo most likely, and fuck, that's really gonna suck when that time comes, and that's only in like 2 weeks time, but I don't want to think about that right now. With this chapter, it was really cool to see Law and Corazone's relationship just flourish, with Corazone taking Law on a journey to find a hospital that may cure his amber-led sickness, but as we go to all the hospitals, it really reveals the true ugliness of the world that they live in. How they know that the amber-led sickness isn't, well, I'm not sure if they know this, but it's not contagious. It's merely a poison. But no one wants to deal with that, because no one wants to deal with that. Everyone's calling the world government. And it was so satisfying to see Corazone just kicking ass and just fighting for Law's sake. And at the end of this chapter, it was so emotional to see that Corazone, even though he got stabbed by Law, which was Corazone, with this okay, he's probably not immortal, because he doesn't have the Opie no me, but there might be someone, maybe he got stabbed below the heart, just below. But just seeing that, with Corazone saying that he doesn't even care that Law stabbed anymore, because one stab wound is not the equivalent to all this pain that Law's had to endure. I mean, what, at this point in time in the flashback, Law's 12 years old, I'm assuming. So he's gone through many years worth of pain and suffering and ridicule because of his sickness. And being that Law, this 10 to 12-year-old kid, has already made up his mind, built up the mentality that he's going to die, so it really doesn't matter what he does now. And just seeing how Corazone respected that, and he gained compassion for Law, was really just, and how, he connected with Law, saw all the pain he went through, how he gained to respect Law, at this point, he doesn't see him as a brat anymore. He has just gained compassion for him, and that was just really sad to see Corazone crying. And then as he turns around, we see the little bubble, he stumbles and falls. Law starts to cry as well, and that was just really sad. And so freaking, it was so sad, it was so emotional too, and just seeing what's gonna happen to Corazone is really gonna suck. Oh, god damn it. But so that was a great part of the chapter. And before I get into the stuff concerning the Will of the D, I thought this was an awesome chapter. It was great. It really was great. And I may be just rehashing this because everyone's been saying it, but Oda really has been putting out great content as of late. No more, oh, we finally made it to level 4. Oh no, but we fell down to level 2, and I go to level 3, level 4, blah, 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 blah. None of that shit anymore. We're getting great content, and it's just so nice and satisfying to see. So the end of this chapter, it was great, and like, god damn it, I'm such a pussy, man. But now going into the beginning of the chapter concerning the Will of the D. Now, with this we get vague, well, not vague, but little tidbits of information concerning the will of the D, and also that Corazon, well, that's just a name for Rociante, which is his real name, but I'm used to calling him Corazon, so I'm just gonna do that. And how he's actually a Marine commander, which shocked the living hell out of me. How, oh, I didn't notice, like, during the live reaction, which you can find right here by Mr. Buffalo over there, the code names with Rociante and, well, fuck now, with Corazon and Sengoku's muffins and bagels. So that was fucking hilarious. And just seeing that was really surprising, because I did not expect Corazon, because he doesn't even see the people in the rest of the pirate group as comrades. And he realizes that, you know, Doflamingo, he's a freaking monster, but it's this world that is, because it's implied that, or rather it's said that, you know, he was born a monster, but it's really this world that made him a monster. His status as a Tenryubito and having that taken away from him, and just being tortured and ostracized, ridiculed, that's really what caused him to become this way, obviously. So, born a monster? No, probably not. Mainly because of his status as a celestial dragon. And before I get into the will of the D, because I want to save that for the end, Virgo has a lot of relevance from what we can see, because, you know, he was the former Corazon, and why Virgo would be the former Corazon instead of Rociante is kind of just, ooh, what the fuck, Doflamingo? But we all know Virgo's mission, so it's implied, or not really implied, but people are saying that maybe Virgo is gonna rat Corazon out to Doflamingo, and maybe that's how, you know, Doflamingo will find out. Or maybe Doflamingo always knew that. So, I mean, with that we'll see. But that was really shocking to see that, and I also saw a cover page, like a color page, of, you know, all these Marines in their younger days, I guess. Well, yeah, when we see someone who looks exactly like Corazon, so, I mean, that was freaking cool to see as well. And, okay, because so far, 7 minutes in, it's been my impressions. Now to the will of the D. So, freaking Corazon and Law are having a conversation within, you know, Corazon's ability. You know, he can't emit sound from anywhere else. Like, he creates this special room, but you cannot hear sound within that, which is actually really good for covert operations in general. Like, say, maybe Corazon could, you know, phone Sengoku and Doflamingo wouldn't even hear it. So, I mean, that was cool to see his ability. It's really unique from what we've seen in the One Piece universe. Now, with the will of the D. Fuck. Okay, will of the D. God's natural enemy. With this, yes, talking about the celestial dragons. And, you know, how there was this D clan, pretty much, or so Corazon is saying. So, I've heard theories for a very long time that the D clan existed long ago, and, you know, they're related to the Skypeans and, like, all this shit, or those group of people with the Skypeans, like, you know, those other, I forgot what they were called, but, you know, those group of people, which they're somehow related. But the D clan theories have crafted, you know, that they opposed the world government a long time ago, and, you know, they were destroyed by the world government. So that's a theory, and it looks like that may be true, which is freaking awesome to see. But if it's just that, then it's kind of like, okay, then people have been knowing this. So I hope Oda adds a lot more than just, oh, they're just completely annihilated. Like, we still don't know why they were annihilated and whatnot. But every time people hear someone with the name of D, people just flip out and, you know, the D will bring a storm again. That's what happens when people with the name of D gain just power or authority. You know, like, such as Marshall D. Teach, Monkey D. Luffy. I mean, once they saw the D, when Luffy first got his bounty, once they saw the D, they were like, oh shit, no, there's another one. Fuck. And it also brings up the question, if the world government hates this D clan so much, then how the fuck is Garp in the Marines? Like, what? So that would be cool to see how the hell Garp's even in the Marines in the first place, being that he's a D. And, you know, how Corazon himself stated that the D, they are God's natural enemy. God's referring to the celestial dragons and the world government as a whole. So, that theory very well may be true. That was redundant, I'm sorry. That theory may be true. In fact, it's probably true. I just hope Oda adds a lot more to it, you know. So, when that flashback of the D clan comes, which will be in 8 years, I'll still be reviewing One Piece. Don't get me wrong. I'll be reviewing One Piece till I'm 26, 27 years old. Oh, but, so that's the chapter. And it's good that, because I figured like, oh, Corazon, he's just Doflamingo's bro in the Don Quixote Pirates. How does he know about the D? But he's a Marine, so, you know, it would make sense that, you know, he knows about it. And, you know, how it affects Doflamingo because, you know, the D, they're the antithesis, and I fucked this up in my library. Antithesis of God. So, if Doflamingo was associating with someone with the name of D, then it'd be big trouble. So, keep fucking up that word. Alright, so, long review, there was a lot to talk about, but it was a freaking great chapter, and the way this flashback is gonna end is gonna be really freaking sad, and then after that, we get back to the fighting. It's gonna be so awesome. I can't freaking wait. Fanboy mode to the max right now. Alright, stay classy, folks, and I'll see you next week for One Piece.